Hello everyone, and welcome to the webcast. Apologize for Sunday, I had a technical issue, so I'm recording the webcast, and today we will talk about the European strategies from the beginning of the year in Unisearch until now and how they perform. So we will go to Unisearch. We will start with the conservative and retirement strategies because that's the most used in Europe. So we put the date, the first trading day of January. And that's the 2nd of January 2019. So it will find the search on this date. So we choose conservative. So this is the first search, conservative Europe. Let's see how it performed until today. So we run the search. We do a quick test. And we see 9 winners, 1 loser, and a profit of 38%. So this conservative search did very well. Let's see the next one. Oh wait, I will first. The conservative search searches for stocks with a RV lower or equal to 1, RS safety higher or equal to 1, stock price has to be higher or equal to €1, 50-day moving average has to be higher or equal than 100,000, the stock volume must be greater than 0. So that's the search. The conservative stocks searches for a relative value below 1 or equal to 1 and a safety higher or equal than 1. Let's see how it performed. We do a quick test. We can see 10 winners and 0 losers, which performed really well, has a profit of 41%. The next search, dividend payers. So dividend payers find all stocks that pay a dividend. The stocks are sorted by VST, bring the stocks with the best performing, best combination of value, safety and time to the top of the list. You see the dividend paid has to be greater than 0, so it's stocks with dividend. Quick test. Here we have 7 winners, 3 losers, profit of 29.82%, which is also really good. And compared to the Euro stocks, it's 22.63. See dividend plays. Find stocks rated a buy with a growth rate greater than 11% and a dividend yield above 3%. The stocks are sorted by VST plus ESG or YSG. This combine the power of VST with the power of our ESG indicator. ESG is the best combination of dividend yield, dividend safety and dividend growth. It's like VST but then for dividends. The sort VST plus ESG brings the stock with the best combination of VST and YSG to the top of the list. See here's growth rate has to be higher or equal than 11. The dividend yield must be higher or equal than 3. And the stock recommendation has to be equal than a buy, so not a sell or a hold. We run the search. We do a quick test and we see it says a profit of 11.71, 5 winners, 2 losers. That wasn't as good as the Euro stocks, but you can see there are only on the 2nd of January there were only 7 stocks, so it didn't give a lot of results. Still profit though. Pale blue chips. What does pale blue chips? Find stocks with well above average safety, ROAS and a growth rate above 10%. These stocks also have a safe dividend that has growth rate over 10%. Stocks are sorted by VST plus YSG, this combine the power of VST with the power of YSG indicator. YSG is the best combination of dividend yield, dividend safety, dividend growth. The sort VST plus YSG brings the stock with the best combination of VST and YSG to the top of the list. We can see how the search is created. It's relative safety greater or equal than 1.25, so real safe stock. Growth rate has to be greater or equal than 10. Dividend safety is the same as relative safety, but then it's on dividends has to be greater or equal than 50. The dividend safety is between 0 and 99, so above 50 is like 1, so that's good. And then dividend growth is higher or equal than 10, and dividend yield is higher and equal than 1. We run the search, do a quick test. We see 9 winners, 1 loser. It has a profit of 56% compared to the Euro stocks is 22.63%, so this search did really well. And as you can see, I'm doing all these searches that are in our folders, and until now we don't have anyone that had a negative. It's all profit. Then we have prima donnas. Prima donnas find stocks that pay a dividend with well above average safety, RS, with below average price appreciation potential, RV, as the relative value. The stocks are sorted by the highest dividend yield to the lowest. So we see RV has to be lower or equal than 1, safety has to be greater or equal than 125, and dividend yield has to be greater than 0. Do the search, get 10 stocks, quick stop. See a profit of 42.37% compared to the Euro stocks is 22.63%. So 10 winners, no losers. Again, really great search. The next one, Steady Eddies. Find stocks that pay a dividend with well above average safety, RS. The stocks are sorted by VST plus YSG. It combines the power of VST with the power of YSG indicator. YSG is again, that's the same, and it brings the best combination of VST and YSG to the top of the list. See, the relative safety is higher or equal than 125. The dividend paid has to be greater than 0. Stock price greater than 10 euros. The 50-day moving average has to be bigger than 50,000, and the stock volume share straight has to be greater than 0. We run the search, do a quick test. I see here a profit of 19.76, 8 winners and only 2 losers. The last one from the conservative folder is the super simple dividends. Again, this search finds dividend stocks with an above average rating for YSG and a growth rate over 15%. The stocks are sorted by VST plus YSG. You see here the YSG yield safety growth has to be bigger than 1, and the stock growth rate has to be bigger than 15%. Let's do a quick test. Profit of 10.47, 8 winners and 2 losers. Again, until now we don't have any searches that are negative. We will go now to the next folder, that's the retirement folder. That's also really conservative. First is Dawn Dividend Dandies, Europe. The search simultaneously finds stocks with a high dividend yield and earnings yield, as well as undervalued stock. It's a great search for both value investors and bargain hunters. See the stock price split adjusted has to be greater than 1. Stock average or 50-day moving average volume has to be higher than 100,000, and the dividend yield is a delta 13 weeks, so it has to be had to grow at least with 10% over the last 13 weeks or a quarter. Let's do the search, quick test. You see a profit of 10.76 or 67, sorry. 5 winners, 5 losers. The next one is high VST plus YSG stocks. Find optional stocks with above average safety, growth rate above 10%, and brings to the top of the list those with the best combination of capital and dividend performance, with VST plus YSG descending. So the search is VST has to be greater or equal than 1, YSG has to be greater or equal than 1, relative safety has to be greater or equal than 1.25, so really safe stocks, and stock growth rate has to be higher or equal than 10. The stock exchanges has to be equal than this, and you can check if you click on it. So it's mostly the options, European options. You see Athens, Amsterdam, Brussels, Paris, the Irish stock market, Madrid, Milan, Vienna, and etc. Okay, run the search. Quick test. We see a profit of 30.67, 8 winners, 2 losers. Compared to the Euro stock 500, it's 22.63%. So again, profit. Until now we didn't have any losing strategies. Long-term runners, the search finds the safest stock in the database. So you see stock price has to be higher equal than 0, and it's sorted by RS descending. So the highest RS come on top of the list. So quick test. You see profit 26.94%, 8 winners, 2 losers. Then the next search is premier growth stocks. This strategy finds safe, predictable, high market capitalization stocks that are moving up in price. We see the market capitalization has to be higher or equal than 15,000. Growth rate has to be higher or equal than 14. Stock price has to be higher or equal than €1, and the 50-day moving average has to be higher or equal than 100,000. We run the search, quick test. Profit of 11.45, 7 winners and 3 losers. Worry-free winners. So this search finds buy-rated stocks with consistent and predictable earnings growth. The sort brings the best stocks with the stronger RS performance right to the top of the list. It returns only those stocks that have passed the acid test. The 50-day moving average is greater than 150. Day moving average, the price parameter is designed to find optionable stocks below $100 per share. Finally, the stock must pay a dividend also. So all the searches in retirement folder pay a dividend. If you look at the search, is stock price higher or equal than 1, 50-day moving average higher or equal than 100,000. This are the stock exchanges where it looks for. Stock price split adjusted has to be higher than the stock 50-day moving average price, and the stock 50-day moving average price has to be higher than the stock 150-day moving average price, and the stock price actual has to be smaller or lower than €100. We run the search. We only get 6 results. Let's quick test them from the beginning to the year until now. It's a profit of 12.83%, 5 winners and 1 loser. Okay, so these are all the conservative search, and you see from the beginning of the year until now, not even one was negative. Let's try. I want to also show you some special searches. So we have ballistic new highs, find all stocks hitting a new 52-week price high. The stocks are sorted by closing price, dividend, by stop price. The stocks are at the top of the list, have a closing price well above the stop price. You can see the searches here over 52 weeks. Has to be a new high, stop price has to be greater than 0. Let's see if you get results. If you quick test it, we only have a profit of 0.06%, 8 winners and 2 losers. You see Alpha lost 63% and Colruyt lost 23.99, but again here this is with no stop loss. So if you have a stop loss of 15%, you probably would have 10 winners and no losers. Then we have best biggies. Find stocks with a buy recommendation, above average VST, positive growth rate, and positive forecasted earnings. The stocks are in the 5 sectors that have the largest increase in VST over the past 4 weeks. The stocks are sorted by the best combination of VST and average volume. Look at the searches. VST is higher or equal than 1. Growth rate is higher than 0. The earnings per share has to be greater than 0. Stock sector equal. The high is 5 by 4 week VST delta. So the 5 highest sectors, and it's they look at it using the VST, so the value, safety, and timing indicators, and the stock recommendation has to be equal than a buy, so no sell or hold stocks. You only get 2 results. Let's quick test it. We get a profit of 48.93%. Again, against the euro stocks, it's 22.62%. 2 winners, 0 losers. Again, a really good search. The next one the search finds stocks with good fundamentals that are able to withstand lengthy drawbacks that are currently in an uptrend. The search is 50-day moving average greater than 50,000. Stock price has to be greater than 1, and growth rate has to be greater than 11% on the search. Quick test from the beginning of the year until now. Profit of 6.95, 6 winners, 4 losers. Big gorillas. Find stocks with a buy or a hold recommendation that have an average volume over 2.5 million. The stocks are sorted, so the highest VST stocks are at the top. So you see here the 50-day moving average is higher or equal than 2.5 million, and stock recommendation has to be not equal to a sell, so just a hold or a buy. It's just stocks with a hold or buy recommendation. So we run the search, we do a quick test. It's a profit of 21.52%, 10 winners and no losers. Buffett stocks. Find stocks rated a buy with well above average safety, or well above average price appreciation potential, RV. The stocks are sorted by IRS, so by relative safety, dividend by RT, so that's relative timing. This is in essence bring the safest stocks that are beaten down on the top of the list. You see here the relative value, it has to be above or equal 125. Stock recommendation has to be a buy, and the relative safety has to be greater or equal than 150. Run the search, we don't find any stocks that have these criteria. So let's go to the next one. And as you can see, I'm going all the lists down, and we still have to find a search with a negative outcome. Cash cows. Let's see. So find stocks between 5 and 15 euro that are rated either a buy or a hold. They have a growth rate between 17 and 28% and have positive earnings fields. These stocks have moved up in price from yesterday on a higher than average volume. The stocks are sorted by RT, relative timing, which will bring the stocks with the most price momentum to the top of the list. This is a popular search for buying stock long and up markets. So we see here the percent price change has to be greater or equal than 0. Stock recommendation has to be a buy or a hold. Earnings yield has to be greater or equal than 1. Growth rate has to be lower or equal than 28, or higher and equal than 17. So the growth rate has to be between 17 and 28%, and the stock average or 50-day moving average volume has to be at least 100,000. We run the search. We don't get any results in this search. Comfort on the move, VST higher than 0.01. Stock price split adjusted has to be higher than 1 euro. Average 50-day average volume has to be higher than 50,000, and stock sector has to be no ETFs. Let's see the search if you get results. Okay, let's quick test. Profit of 14.82%. So from 2nd of January until today. 7 winners, 3 losers. Again, a positive search. So I can go all on the list, but it was just to show you that all our conservative searches are in profit since the beginning of the year. You don't even have to do nothing, just buy and hold. You can test the searches out by yourself. If you want to create your own search, you can create it using one of our searches and adding parameters to it, or you can just copy parameters. If you have any questions about these searches, you can send an email to belgium@vectorvest.com, netherlands@vectorvest.com, and I will help you with your search. Don't forget our events. So we have the upcoming workshops. The next one is in Bruges, Belgium, 2nd of December. We have one in Lommen on the 3rd of December, Mechelen on 4th December, Geel on 5 December, Eindhoven 7 December, Ghent 9 December, and Kortrijk 18 December. So you sign up, it's free. Free drinks, free parking. You can go to the workshop. Tom will presenting the workshop. The next webcast is on 1st of December. It's Tom will be giving it. It's the VectorVest journal. So we will talk about he will talk about the market and the software. Thank you for listening. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to send me an email. Bye.